Welcome to the Sandbox, the #1 podcast for Sandbox gamers and hardcore PvP action. But be warned, viewer discretion is advised. And now your hosts, Bullet, Quint, and Nature.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 46 of the Sandbox. Today we're going to talk about what Quint did this last couple days over at SOE. Also a little bit of news from Black Desert. They got some they have mounted combat.
Talking is hard.
We've been playing too many games. Eve Fanfest is going on, and been playing a little ArcheAge. So with me as usual is Quint.
What's up, guys?
And Natril.
What is up, everyone?
So basically, let's just get to what we've been playing.
Let's do it.
We can list one game that'll cover all three of us.
Yeah.
I can list 2 games.
All right, let's start with you then, Quint, because we got very little.
Number 1, H1Z1. Got to take a little trip to SOE. It was pretty cool. They had this whole booth set up outside, like 50 free pizzas, all kinds of snacks and energy drinks, and then they basically took groups of like between 5 and like 8 people in to have a sit down talk with the developers, and then you do a little Q&A there. And then from there, we got moved to the other room, which is the playtest room, and got to play a build of H1Z1, which was very, very much pre-alpha build. So
did you play it?
I played it, yeah.
I was watching that stream. It looked like you could basically run around with your torch and blow ththings up.
Yeah,
and see zombies.
Yeah, you start off just kind of in the middle of nowhere. It looks to me, it looks to me like it's not going to be a super deep sandbox. I mean, I know when John Smedley came out originally and made his little statement about, was it Star Wars Galaxies players will have a home, this and that. I feel like it's just going to be another DayZ, but it's going to be a little deeper. I think it's going to have some better building systems in it. You actually be able to build strongholds and defend and do this and that. And, also it'll have the massive server, and SOE backup support. So, but yeah, when you start off playing, it drops you in the middle of just anywhere. And, you have an axe, you have a torch, and that's pretty much it. So you got to kind of run around, forage, you find little broken down trailers and cars, around the road, and get over there and, look for water bottles and that kind of stuff.
I saw you chop down a tree too.
Yeah.
Axe.
You can use your axe to cut down trees. You use the wood you get from the trees to build campfires, and then you use the torch to light the campfire. And so, that's how you cook food and all that kind of stuff. But the downside of that is you can't hang around the fire too long because, the zombies, if it's nighttime, it's so dark in that game. It's like pitch black. You can't see anything at night. It's pretty crazy. But if you throw down a campfire, the zombies will be attracted to that, and anything you do attracts them. If no matter what it is. So
yeah, I wonder if that nighttime look will stay at release. It looks great in trailers, but players tend to want to see where they're going.
I don't know. I think it will, just by talking to them. I mean, they seem pretty dedicated to the fact that they want it to be for hardcore people who like that kind of stuff. It's going to be pretty brutal. It adds another aspect, of just danger to moving around at night, but it also adds cover at night. You can get around pretty easily as long as you don't get lost. You don't have to worry about getting jumped by other players too much.
Mortal started with pitch dark nighttime, and they slowly kind of backed it off a little bit. I would wonder how long the day-night cycles are and if they're equal.
They told me it was 4 hours. That's a question I asked them. So
4
it was
hours of day and 4 hours a night.
No, I think it was a total of 4 hours.
Okay.
So 2 hours a day, 2 hours a night.
So you know what kind of sucks? Like, and this is kind of what happened in Mortal sometimes is you get off work, you have 2 hours to play, and it's night the whole time.
Either that or
like,
it could be like 3 in 1, you know?
Yeah, that would be better, I think. You know, I also heard that they're going to allow people to play as, or somehow people are going to play as zombies.
Oh,
Did they say anything about that?
Yeah, so this is what happens. So if you get killed, you come back as a zombie for like 15 seconds, and you get like 15 seconds to kill the player who killed you as a zombie. And then you'll respawn. But what happens is if he doesn't kill you, if he just kills you and runs away, after your 15 seconds is up, you spawn again, but your corpse is still walking around out there with your shit on it as a zombie. So if you know where that was, you can run back out there, kill your corpse, and get your shit back.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
You know, the only thing that's kind of weird about that is like, okay, let's say the three of us are really in like post-apocalyptic zombie land.
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh shit, Nate got bit, right? The problem is that Nate as a zombie would attack us, you know, in your own party, because that's kind of what zombies do. But in a game, we're on TeamSpeak, and we're like, Nate, don't attack me.
Well, he'll have 15 seconds to not attack you, and then he comes out of that character. He respawns back wherever,
okay.
And then his zombie goes on.
What if zombies can use weapons?
I don't know.
See, the other
Well,
thing,
you know, when you watch the stream, it's amazing just how many questions like they're just now tackling in their development. So I think this is a lot further back than we thought.
Yeah.
But they did mention that they have a lot of different zombie types and with a lot of surprises yet to be announced. So we could find some interesting types of zombies.
Yeah.
see, I think
Go ahead.
I think it would be cool if, you know, because if you're a zombie, I wonder if you have like regular vision, regular walking. Like, how does all that work?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I think it would be cool as a zombie, maybe you go into like an infrared mode, like from EverQuest 1 or something, and you just see like as if you were smelling, you know what I mean? Like you would see like an aura of a scent.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't even know if it was your friend or who it was, because that's kind of what a zombie would do. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess they'll probably tweak it a lot before it's released. You know, they're probably not dead set on exactly this is how things are going to be.
Right. Yeah, and I got to ask a couple of good questions. And we'll link the video. They actually have the video posted on their Twitch page. I'll put it in the show notes. But you know, I asked some questions like, you know, how are they planning on doing trading or resource gathering? You know, I got a lot of non-answers, you know, from the questions that I had. I guess this stuff's just not ready to talk about yet. Stuff about banking, if they plan on doing that, or if there's any kind of like economic market at all. That's why it just makes me think that it's not going to be a super deep sandbox game. It's just going to be more of a bloodbath.
Yeah, so you mentioned Eve in one question and Star Wars Galaxy in the other question,
Yeah.
and then you said your name was Sandbox Quint. So you had one hater in the Twitch chat that's like, shut up, guy, we know what games you like.
Yeah, whatever.
Mentioned Eve and Star Wars Galaxy.
I have a troll. I've achieved my life goals of being internet trolled.
Yeah.
Hey, we have one of the guys you met at SOE. He's in our Twitch chat right now.
Oh, cool. Who is it?
Well, he signed in as Cryptic Games.
Oh yeah. Hey man, what's up? Yeah, I got to meet Cryptic Games. They're like a little website. I met up with them. They were in my group. They're cool dudes. So yeah, shout out to them and what they're trying to do. Start up a little news website for games and reviews and things like that. So
So so they took you guys in like little groups and then kind of walked you through, like you get to play and then you get to talk to the developers,
Right.
kind of cycled you around.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was good. One cool thing that they did mention, I'll be brief about it. They talked about they want to implement that. You know, they're gonna have airdrops in the game that you can, you know, order, and what'll happen is you'll be seeing a plane flying overhead, and you'll know like, holy shit, someone's getting an airdrop, and it's gonna be like contention points. You know, people are gonna be running to try and get whatever's in that crate. And so they were talking about, spitballing ideas, like saying what they would like to do eventually is get like a cell phone app to where if your buddy's in the game and you're out wherever, and he'll send you a text like, yo, I need this and this. Do you have it? And you can look through your inventory on your cell phone and say, yeah, I'm going to send it over as an airdrop to your location. And then you just hit the button and it drops it in game for him. But, then
anyone can grab it, right?
Yeah, it's up for grabs, so he's got to get out there, get it, and get back safely. It's a lot of cool ideas, stuff that they're thinking about doing. It's just a matter of time. We got to wait and see,
Yeah, I'm okay with them spitballing things and trying things and going back and retrying things,
Yeah, why not?
I heard that potentially that the airdrops would be one of the things you buy in the cash shop. I don't know how true that is either.
I don't know. They might have said that. I wasn't paying attention if they did. So
Yeah, they'll be throwing all kinds of stuff at the wall the next, I guess from now until closer to release, especially with this early testing, which is cool. We get to see what features work and don't, but I still kind of miss the old development style where they kind of figure all this shit out on their own without using us.
Yeah.
But we have games like that. You know what I mean? We have 20 games like that. Let's have a couple, I like what SOE's been doing lately. I like that they're talking to people. I like that they're trying things new. But they're also,
Well, this isn't really new, but go ahead.
Well, it is new how they're developing it, and it's kind of. But I also like the fact that they're saying, like, there's a lot of people say, we don't, isn't there a PvE server? And Smedley's like saying, no, this is not that kind of a game.
Yeah.
And I like that, but it's cool to listen to some things. I don't know. You got to imagine that most of the time they have like, this many developers, but you got this many people playing the game. And I guess that doesn't really work for audio, but you have, and the people who are playing the game will find ways that whatever their ideas were broken and no one thought of it. We always see that. We always see, exploits and different ways people figure out ways to get around the rules of the game, and then they have to patch it in. I have no problem with them coming up with, changing their mind along the way, as long as it's not major, as long as they don't take PvP out.
Yeah, Daisy is huge and Rust is huge. These games are selling tons of copies on Steam, and there's no reason why this game won't do well, especially with all of that on a massive server.
I just hope they find a way to have some sort of, character development. I know when you die, you start over kind of, but, it'd be nice if you have your base and you're building your base. Like even in Rust, if you have your area and you die, you're not starting from scratch. You can go to your room. Where house is.
Well, what they were saying was about character stuff. It's not necessarily permadeath, but you do lose your shit. I mean, it's like EverQuest 1 where you died, you start back at the beginning or wherever your respawn point is, and your shit is still out there in the world, except for anyone can pick it up.
But in EverQuest 1, you still have your skills, you still have your bank.
Right, but see, I don't... Yeah, and I'm sure you're still going to have your house if there's even a way to actually lay claim to a house other than sitting in there and defending it yourself.
Right. Like a lockbox, maybe?
Yeah, I'm not sure. They said they were. I asked him specifically about banking, and he said, we're still looking at that. But
yeah,
as far
as you mentioned something about resources, where they're putting resources at. Like, oh yeah, we're just now looking at maybe putting specific needed resources in certain areas that people will fight over. Yeah.
Right.
But choke points and hotspots.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be character development as far as skills and stuff like that go. I think it's all about what you can amass and what you can hold on to.
Well, even Minecraft is that way. Your character doesn't develop. You can just go and get go to your chest and pull out some more armor and pull out a diamond sword or whatever.
Right. It's probably going to be a bit like that.
So would you say after playing the game, you were more excited about it, the same, or less?
I would say I am the same, although I'm definitely intrigued. I mean, it's not like I was never I wasn't ever not excited about it. I was always kind of looking forward to it. I never got a chance to play Rust or DayZ or WarZ, so this will be the one I'm going to jump in and get into and try it. So yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm looking forward to actually trying it once it gets better, because the build we got to play was very, very rough. So, but it was cool. It's a cool concept.
Were they cool to you when you went out there?
Oh yeah, SOE is always cool.
Like cattle?
I've been out there a couple times, and they're always really cool. They like to engage with their community a lot. So
Did you
That
see
bill is-
Smedley?
no, he was hiding.
No, Smed. If he came out, he would have taken over the whole thing probably.
Oh man, he
Everyone
would have
would
been
talk
given
to him.
spoilers. He would have been like, "Oh, an EverQuest Next is coming out in a year." Like he can't hold anything back. I think they had him locked up.
That build you played is probably pretty close to what we'll be able to play with their founders package.
Yeah, and
I
they
imagine.
Yeah, and they said the founders pack is going to be, I think, $20 is what they said to buy in.
I was
So
surprised they didn't give all you guys that came out there like an alpha or something. There's
that's
probably
what we were asking. I was asking. I was like, so we get early access for
you
making.
sit down, you look under your seat.
Yeah.
Cool. So have you been playing anything else?
Yes, I have. I've been playing some ArcheAge, and it's awesome. Or ArcheAge.
ArcheAge.
I'm gonna call it ArcheAge.
We're going
ArcheAge?
with
ArcheAge.
Yeah.
No.
So
It's rad, and I want to talk about it a whole lot later.
okay. So let's go to what you've been playing, Nate.
So nothing until Wednesday, which is when I bought ArcheAge.
So just to clarify, you did not play any Face of Mankind.
I did not play any Face of Mankind.
Oh,
Did I lose the bet?
You guys
No,
both.
you already
Wait, you both
won the bet.
You both
Right
lose the
away.
bet, so that means I won.
Yeah, Quint
I
wins.
win.
No, I actually, that's all you've been playing. That's all I've been playing. I actually canceled every sub I had to everything else as soon as we started playing. First of all, it was
Even Mortal,
$150.
huh?
Huh?
Even Mortal, huh?
Well, I still have a little bit of time left in Mortal, and I know the patches are going to come out. It's just, Mortal is probably I like Mortal better than ArcheAge when it's all said and done. It's just ArcheAge, everyone's playing it. It's more accessible. Mortal's like, the thing about Mortal is you got to play it. You got to be all in. You
Yeah.
can't just casually. For me, I can't just casually play that game. And I am not by any means done with Mortal. It's just I'm just taking a break because, ArcheAge has me consumed. And let's move on. Let's go on to our. That's all I've been playing. This is the first time I think that we've gone from one podcast to the next with with such few games on our list of played games. So let's move on to the other news, and then we'll end with our long rant about ArcheAge.
Yeah, well, if we keep casting weekly like this, it should turn to the norm. At least not our long 10 list of games, one or two at most.
45 minutes of what we've been playing.
Yeah.
So,
Because there's even games that I have bought since the last time we podcast that I haven't played.
Dark Souls 2.
Dark Souls 2.
Yeah.
I bought Portal 2, but I've already beat that. I bought it to play multiplayer with my brother.
I want to still play a lot more Diablo 3. I want to still play a lot, play Dark Souls 2. Just that right now, ArcheAge just got me consumed.
Yeah. Yeah, I did mess around a little Diablo 3, but not enough to make it worth talking about. So let's get on to the news.
I just want to also say I had to build a computer for work. And, it's a forensic machine. So in our when we build forensic machines, we always buy gaming video cards because when you brute force a password, you use the GPU. It's very helpful in that. So I happened to manage to order a video card that came with a free code for Watch Dogs. So guess I'll be playing that in a couple of weeks.
Nice. That game looks good.
Yeah. And my video card came with a free copy of Daylight, which is awful.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bummer.
That was a PlayStation. When you're a PlayStation 4 or whatever the Xbox Live thing is for PlayStation. What's it called, Quinn?
PlayStation Plus.
PlayStation Plus. When you're a PlayStation Plus member, every month they give you one shitty game.
At least until they
And,
build up enough games to start
right.
giving you good ones.
And they that was a free game 2 months ago for us on that. I played it for 10 minutes and realized that there was a lot of reading. Did you play it, Quint?
Is that the one where it's first person and you're breaking into a building and there's all kinds
Right.
of weird stuff?
No weapon.
No, I made my girlfriend play it in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has all the creep factor in it.
Yeah,
It's
that's
got
creepy.
but you literally just go around and pick up items, read items, and then that lets you get an object, which lets you go to the next area rinse,
Yeah.
repeat till the end.
It's very much an old school adventure, kind of like a mystery game to me is what it reminds me of.
Kind of,
Yeah.
but it's kind of, it's like, I don't know, I don't get it. I don't know what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for the first Unreal 4 engine game too, it looks like crap.
It's all weird, yeah, cell shady kind of almost, right?
Yeah.
So,
No, not cell shady. It's just rough, like
Yeah.
same textures everywhere.
Do you know what the PlayStation 4 game is this month, Quint?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I haven't looked.
All right, let's get to the news.
The news: UO, DAOC, and Eldevin all got green lighted on Steam. So good for
So
them.
these are all new games, right?
Yeah, of course. Brand
Yeah,
new.
it's very new.
So at
Eldevin
least-
is new, and Eldevin's good. It's just it's pretty quest heavy. Although the crafting is nice, game world is
Eldevin's
very
cool. I really liked Eldevin. We were all playing it for a while, but Eldevin needs to borrow some more off of UO and a little bit less off of RuneScape, in my opinion. But so why greenlight in these games?
Yeah, I was going to ask the same thing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Ultima Online and Dark Age of Camelot, let's talk about those specifically. They have been around for so long. I feel like if you haven't played them now, you're probably never going to play them. And if you have played them and you've moved on, is there really much of a reason to go back just because it's green-lighted? You know what I mean? Like, just because it's on Steam? I don't know what it's going to bring to the table. Don't get me wrong. I love both of the games, especially Ultima Online, and I still go back time to time and play it. I guess it's never bad to get it out in front of more people, and that's what Steam can do for you. But I don't know. Unless it's like preceding some sort of like free-to-play announcement or something like that, because those are the games that seem to do pretty well when they go to Steam is after they've gone free-to-play. So.
Yeah, or like I guess they are fixing those games a little bit, not fixing them, but modernizing a little bit, change or adding content or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But you would think that they would like say, okay, well here's the new DAOC or here's the new Ultima Online, and then bring it to Greenlight. But I don't know. I wish them luck. Like I said, I don't see any reason to go back. Like I like to go back to UO all the time, but I never stay very long, as you can tell because of the bet.
Yeah.
But I think I could go back to DAOC. But when you get a game like ArcheAge, it's kind of like, wow, well, we're kind of getting some of the things we like. Like DAOC, a lot of Elder Scrolls Online really kind of remind me of that.
Oh yeah, I got my brother into. Well, I mean, I didn't get him into it. He got it. He got Elder Scrolls Online because he was a huge PvPer in DAOC. And he freaking loves Elder Scrolls Online. All he does is PvP, and he says it just totally, everything about it reminds him of DAOC. And he says that it's just the game he was waiting for, because he's played DAOC like almost consistently since it's been out forever. So
wow, that's crazy. Yeah. I like that game. So let's move forward. I want to get back to playing ArcheAge.
We already touched on my visit to SOE. We'll post a link in the show notes to the video if you want to see me ask the questions and look all news reportery. It's at the 12-minute
Bluetooth in his ear.
Yeah, I know, right? 12-minute and 50-second mark.
It was cool though, man. I was like, damn, that's Quint.
Yeah, man. It was a good experience. I like going down there. So
yeah. Well, hopefully we'll have get you in that loop and get you out there more.
It's not far.
Tell them we want EverQuest next beta alpha.
I tried, dude. And I did ask about your PlanetSide beta too for.
Oh right.
They were very tight-lipped about everything except H1Z1. They weren't talking about nothing. So
I don't blame them. That's what you guys were there for.
Yeah. Anyways, Nate, what's the deal with the deeds in Wurm? What's going on?
Well, when you, the game, Wurm is cheap to sub to. I think it's like $8-10 for 2 months. It went up recently. I'm not sure how much it went up to, but it's not costly to play and sub to that game. What can add up though is putting your deed down, especially if you want a deed for like 5-10 people.
Is this for like a house?
That would be like
a deed is just a lane that you claim so that when you build a wall there, it won't immediately deteriorate to the weather.
And people can't just remove it, right?
Yeah, and you can set up restrictions there. They can't.
People can't pick if you set a bucket. If you set a cart down on your deed, people can't just pick up the cart and walk off with it.
Yeah, on the PvP server, they would have to actually tear it down and then pick a lock into the chest, things like that. On the Freedom servers, they can't jack with anything at all. So it's kind of claiming your little part of the game, similar to what Landmark does. But that cost in-game silver, and on the PvP servers where you can't trade a lot, you have to go buy the silver. So it's another cost. I guess they have a feature now where they're changing the way they handle deeds. So they're anticipating their player base to buy more space a different way. So the cost of deeds are pretty much cut in half, which is nice. If we were to go do it right now, I bet you would get a nice chunk of land for like $20, whereas before it would be $40, $50.
Nice.
So if you're looking at getting a Wurm, now's the time. They put out weekly updates where they go over exactly what they're changing. Pretty nice.
I'd like to see that game get more popular. It's got some very unique things, some things that really aren't in any other game, and it's just the combat's. I don't know. When you play it long enough, you kind of forget the combat a little bit. It's because it really is the type of game where you can just get yourself a piece of land, build it up, build a ship, take your ship, and go and attack another person's village. You can do all that. There's very few games you can do that.
Terraform the land, dig into the tunnels, all kinds of cool things. So this is a nice change. They are staying with the game. They were updating it a lot. They're really informative with the players. So if you're looking to get back into Wurm, there's no better time than now.
Cool. So World of Darkness leaked screenshots.
Yeah, did you guys look at these?
Yeah.
I saw them. That's about
Somebody's got to buy that, right? I mean, World of Darkness.
No one's. Well, so they could sell the IP, or we're never going to see this code base sold and someone take over the development of the game.
I mean, the IP they were just optioning it, right? They just licensed it. Is that?
No, they bought White Wolf.
Oh,
they bought White Wolf in like 07, 08.
Okay.
So they are the owners of World of Darkness in every capacity.
Right. So they would have to sell the IP, which they may, since they're mainly a game company, and now they're not making a game with it. Who knows where those rights go? As far as these screenshots go, some of them look really cool. The game world looks very nice. When you look at the character models, I mean, you guys have seen the Eve character models and the character creation. They look less than that, which I guess makes sense because Eve had problems getting more than one person in the same area. But the game world looks awesome. Reminds me a lot of
The Secret World.
A little bit of The Secret World, definitely, because of the same kind of theme, but also like Vampire the Masquerade, the last game that came out in 04. Bloodlines, I think.
I know.
At least when you walk around in the city, like that one picture, you got the guy on the rooftop.
I look at these pictures and I try to understand what was going to be the point of this game.
The only thing I can think of is it was going to be a lot like The Secret World. I mean, that's really the only way you could do that, right?
Yeah.
Well, they were wanting to make a full-fledged sandbox. Who knows? I mean, I guess it's why it's canned. They had a hard time creating a fun game out of all this.
Yeah, I'm not disappointed it's gone. I mean, I wasn't really looking forward to this game. I don't know if you guys were.
These screenshots are just more salt in the wound.
You like this, huh?
Nate was looking forward to that. He was looking for some like leather neckbands and chains, and
he wanted to have like a little goth girl.
Yep.
Character.
I couldn't wait to roleplay in this game. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Well,
let's get on to some cool shit.
R.I.P. World of Darkness.
Some cool shit right here. Black Desert releases a video displaying their mounted combat system, and this looks totally BA.
Yeah, this game, every time
throw this video
you
up
get a new piece of news, it looks more and more awesome.
It just looks completely rad.
You don't see a lot of mounted combat in MMOs. I mean, Lotro has a system for it now. It's in Mortal Online. It's not really in much else.
It's in ArcheAge. Just saying.
Yeah, ArcheAge has a tab target. This game is very arcade action feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, does Black Desert, do they do like auto targeting in front of you? Because I know when people are sitting there shooting their arrows off, you see a little crosshair pop over people when they fire off sometimes. Does it automatically pick targets, or is it tab target?
It's not tab target, but maybe it has a...
Just kind of smart targeting or something like that?
Yeah, it could.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Everything I see about this game, I'm just like, oh my god, this looks so cool. And then they'll release another video and they'll be like, this is so cool. So
they showed each class on the horse with mounted combat, so all the way to their magic classes. So I thought it would look dumb, but that one necromancer guy, he's like, boom, boom, boom,
I've got
boom,
that
boom.
on the screen right now. The necromancer just blasting people.
Do we know anything about when this game is supposed to release, or?
It's in beta now in Korea. They are simultaneously working on the English translation themselves. They have a developer for Russia and Europe. They don't have a publisher for America. So it could be soon, or you know, who knows, a year or two away.
I don't like the idea of them translating it themselves. I mean, obviously they can hire somebody, you know, but just like
I don't know. If they, you know, the typical free-to-play publishers for foreign games are like G Potato, crap like that, where they release
Game
horrible games. I'm assuming they're wanting to hold out for
like a Tryon type company,
right? And then if that happens, it could be, you know, another year after the Korea.
You know what's funny though is if you take some of the games that SOE has picked up over the last 2 years or so, like Wizardry and like Dragon Prophet.
Yeah, that's got to be a cost thing, I'm thinking.
I wonder if, you know, I mean, this really wouldn't. I couldn't see this like competing against some of their other games, but maybe. You know, it would be great if they had this on that Station Pass thing that they have come out.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see that. I don't see SOE picking this one up. I think they might be done with that thing, especially, I mean, I think Sony's earning reports just came out or something. There's a lot of talk about Sony as a company not doing very well at all, aside from the PlayStation side of things.
Right, because of their TVs are getting killed by cheaper brands, because the cheaper brands now are just as good of quality, or, you know.
Yeah.
I guess it's all depending on your preference, but you know, that was always their thing, was Sony made better TVs. Well, now with technology, everyone makes great TVs.
Yeah, I mean, Samsung even, it's just Samsung's, I think, probably the top of the line now.
Samsung and LG, you know, I mean, there's a, you know, even like the Best Buy brand or some of those off brands that are probably all made by Sanyo anyway or something, they're still good, but I don't know.
So I don't know who they could get to pick this up as a publisher for America. I mean, maybe
it would have to not compete with their current lineup,
right?
So Tryon is a good example of ArcheAge,
right?
They're not making a Sandbox game, so we need someone like that without a Sandbox.
They're like, well, we have enough bad games. Let's add a good game.
I would say maybe NCSoft. They might consider.
I can see that.
You know, because there are other games.
So they're a foreign publisher too, though. So it's got to be back. Who knows?
Right, but they do publish games in America too. So
yeah.
Aren't they doing Guild Wars 2?
They do Guild Wars 2, yeah. With
that would be definitely competition.
You think? Is it that similar of a game?
No, but
yeah, but it would be.
I think Guild Wars 2. I think they see everything as competition. Guild Wars 2 is like, you got WoW, then you got Guild Wars 2, right? I mean, as far as popular MMOs. But the difference is, I guess, they might have a way of telling, but they don't make it, you know, they're not selling subs to Guild Wars 2.
Right. Yeah, it's just buy to play. So. I don't know. Anyway. But anyways, I'm really looking forward to trying Black Desert. I want to get into whatever they've got, any tests that, whatever comes out, I can't wait to hop in there and try it out because it just looks amazing. So.
Right.
All right. Up next, Eve FanFest. Nate, this is all you, because I know you've been all over this whole thing since it started.
Yeah, we play a lot of games here, so I don't want to go into all the gritty details because probably our listener base won't care. So I'll hit the highlights. they at the Dust 514 keynote, which everyone was expecting all kinds of Dust news and progression. They end up talking only about, or for most of it, about Project Legion, which is going to be Dust 514 reimagined, redone for the PC market, made more of a sandbox, more progression, tied back into Eve. And so far, no announcement of making that kick back to the consoles. This is going to be for PC gamers, and we could see it by next year.
Right, and go ahead.
I wonder if that would, obviously this is just speculation, no one would know it, but I wonder if we're talking closer to PlanetSide 2 or closer to like Earthrise.
Well, when PlanetSide 2 has the open world, Dust was lobby based.
Oh, it was. I never played. Did you play it?
I did. It was very hard to play. Yeah, you start off, you have a room. You're like in a bedroom. This is like your cabin or whatever. And you have access to
and you're in space.
So I guess I would assume, but you have access to like a locker where you store your war suits and your guns and all that stuff, right? And then you have access to a marketplace where you can buy new suits and stuff, because whenever you died, I think you lost your gear. And so you would constantly have to be buying new gear, and I just could not get into it. And not to mention the fact that, every time I ever tried to play it was on PS3. So there's not like I could upgrade my computer hardware to make it better. It was so laggy that I just couldn't do anything. It was very hard.
So you're in your room, and you can go places and gear up. Do you like get with other people in the lobby, or do you just say, hey, I want to join something? Next thing you know, you appear on a planet with 10 other guys you've never met.
Yeah, from what I remember, I only tried it a few times. You're in your room, and then you have like a deployment list of things that you can pick from, I think, and then you get basically dropped in, and that's how that works.
And then you're in a zone.
Yeah,
with,
you're in a
10
big
on 10, or
I don't know. I don't remember how big it was because I never made it that far. You get down in the world, and then there's just all kinds of crap going on around you. Lasers coming down from space, blowing up buildings.
Was there vehicles that you could ride?
Yeah, tons of vehicles. It's basically Battlefield 2142 remade with modern graphics and with the character progression in it.
And then do you decide to leave, or does that little phase just end and then you're back in your apartment?
I don't know, because
there's clear objectives. There's clear objectives in the map that have a start, middle, end.
So when you died, did you respawn, or were you back in your hotel?
Oh, dude, I don't even remember. I haven't played it since
it's based
first
on
came
Eve,
out.
so it has all the cloning stuff. So yeah, you would just respawn.
Yeah, I for what I remember, I think you pop back into your room or something like that, and then you could go back down.
But you have to, like in Eve, you have to fit out your ships with specific equipment. This, you had to fit out your guy with certain equipment.
Right.
It sounds like
on the skills.
It sounds like it would be cool. I mean,
yes.
Obviously you're saying that it wasn't, and I trust you.
It wasn't cool, at least for me. Just
I think
because
it launched in a state they didn't want it to, and so they've been patching it, trying to get it to where it's good. You play it now, it may be a better experience. Or
maybe.
So let's take like your typical, let's just take like Battlefield game, and instead of having people just run in, get killed, respawn, run in, get killed, or kill some people and then get killed, instead of that, you decide on some gear that you've earned, and then you can decide on how good a gear you want to take, and you go out there and you're really fucking careful because you don't want to lose it.
That's how it is. That's how it is.
That to me seems more appealing to me, the way I like to game, than a game where it's just like rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Oh, but if you get this far, I do like character development as a huge part of a game, but like in Battlefield, you do have the character development, but there really is no like risk to dying. So it's like, well, right now I've already got killed 3 times. My ratio's off on this game. I'm just going to go out there and screw around. I like the fact, I kind of like what you're saying where, okay, well, maybe even if there was like nodes out in the world, so you can go get some nodes and bring them back so you have those to build armor later, and then you deplete your stuff as you go, and then to get to the point where you're just out there in your boxers and with a pistol or so. I don't know.
Yeah,
seems kind of cool.
My whole problem with it, and maybe this is just my personal thing, because it's the same kind of issue that I had with like Age of Conan, except for on a much different level. Is that it just felt so segmented to me, like. It's like your room. It's very confined, and this is it. This is like your world, and then you go down to the fight, and then you go back up. There wasn't I like vast, big worlds that you can explore.
That's what
and
Anarchy
move around.
Online, Anarchy Online, when it launched, that's what kind of killed it for me. And I know it opened up more later, but you were in your apartment, you're in a little zone, and then you'd go do these dungeons that were little boxes,
Yeah, it was like that at launch.
But what is a seamless open world? No, I'm just kidding. ArcheAge is no. I don't know. I will be definitely looking forward to seeing what they do with Dust 514. I was always really surprised that they made it locked down to consoles, and I was kind of surprised that it flopped, because I'm not a big Eve fan, but I know that CCP has they're kind of like. Everything they do has like a little bit of class and style to it, to me. So I'll look forward to seeing what the reimagined Dust 514 is. And for God's sakes, if you make a shooter, don't put it on a console.
I think it's going to do much better on the PC, whatever they put out.
See, this feels to me like it's a last-ditch effort to get this code to make money for them.
You think?
It sure seems like to me, because why go back and redesign and relaunch something?
I mean,
they have all this code base, and this is their last effort to make the project successful.
What I kind of thought was sort of like, they looked at what worked and what didn't work on the consoles. Maybe they felt, we probably should have launched it on the PC to begin with. I think that somewhere in there probably is a very good game. I think it just was sent to the wrong market and maybe executed a little poorly.
I wonder if they're going to steal any ideas or stuff from World of Darkness and stick it in there. Not necessarily
it's the same team. They haven't pulled any of those guys. Well, I guess they already did, but this is all the same team that makes Dust. Yeah. They're moved over to trying to get a PC version.
Cool.
All right.
Anything else?
We got more stuff.
Yeah, so that was a Dust keynote. Then you have the Eve keynote on Friday, at which the big highlight there, I guess, was currently Eve has 2 expansions a year, and now they're moving to a 6-week update cycle. So every 6 weeks you'll get a patch. Obviously, this next update is going to be huge because it's on the old expansion cycle, but Chronos will be the first of these updates. And I guess their mentality was they could be more aggressive because they can launch things in stages, and then they're not trying to make a hard deadline, so they can kind of get some grand ideas and tackle those without having to make this key deadline. They could just push out stuff when they got it. It's not a bad thing. It's going to be different. I definitely enjoy the 2 expansions because I know there's key points in the year where I should go back and see what Eve has going on, whereas this will spread those updates out for the whole year.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, it almost seems like it's going to make people want to stick around longer because, you'll get expansion burnout where you've been playing for 4 months and you're like, well, shit, everything's going to change in 2 months. I'm not really working on anything. I might as well just unsub until the expansion comes out. Now it's going to be like every 6 weeks.
Too is like they change some ship, and then the whole meta changes, and nullsec. This will happen more often with all their revamping.
Yeah, to keep things shaken up and fresh. That's good.
They also talked about the big statement from one of their head devs was they want every structure and asset in the game to be fully destructible, which sounds great, but when you wrap your head around that,
even like the like NPC bases, I guess those are in high sec, so that it wouldn't matter, right?
Yeah, so I'm assuming, it's a bold statement. I'm assuming it doesn't affect high sec, but maybe it does.
Well,
let's just talk null sec. So this would mean star bases are all the jumps between systems, and then all the stations. So right now you can spend huge amount of effort getting a station in game, and then it's there forever. There's no way for an opposing alliance to come in and blow up a station. So that alone would be a huge change for nullsec, where you can come in and actually destroy a major asset in the game. And then if you can destroy stargates, or their jump gates rather, you can. I mean, the whole map would change and how you move.
Yeah, everything's gonna change. That's kind of a cool idea.
So they've got a process to get there. I think. So what we're seeing now is the industry overhaul revamp. Then they're going to do a corp alliance management revamp. Me and Cole, you were helping run that clan last time. If you go through those menus, they're so convoluted. I think all that will get a rewrite. And then after that, they're going to do their nullsec sov redesign, which will change how the territory control happens in game.
I wonder how populated Eve is. I wonder if it's still as strong as it ever was.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
You think so? Oh.
Yeah, it hasn't. It's kept its player base so far. It hasn't dipped or gone up. So what, around 350K subs? So once they have their core gameplays they want fixed and a foundation built, then they would start adding on these, I guess, where players can actually just change the map fully, and then I get maybe eventually get new space, which would be neat.
Cool. I never think of Eve as having a map. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a map, but
yeah,
it's like, I don't know.
It's just big,
cool,
open, empty. Oh, another thing with the FanFest, dude, we're on a monument. All of us.
If you were subbed by some date in March.
Yeah.
Oh.
Probably none of us.
What do you mean?
Oh, this March.
March.
I thought it was every account like up until that day.
No, I think if you held a sub currently in March of this year, you got on that monument.
Oh, I don't care then. That's lame.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lame. We're not on it. Yeah. I've had a sub forever, and I dropped it like the last 3 months, so I'm not in there. And then they put out a new trailer at the CCP Presents, which is awesome. If you watch the trailer, it shows them deploying a brand new, like a jump to another system, basically. And when it comes to this giant battle of like thousands of players, and then when it goes into place, it launches like an EMP blast and leaves this humongous wreck in the wake. And then there's this structure sitting there that the players put in.
I played it earlier.
It's a sweet trailer.
It was on there. But I have to say something. Eve trailers always look so damn badass. And every time I see one, I want to get in there and be like, dude, I want to see this shit going down real time, And I get into Eve and, man, it's just not there. I've never seen it. I've never been part of a huge battle. Although I haven't really...
trailers are made with all in-game assets.
Yeah.
They're just...
I guess, it's my fault. I haven't really applied myself to do it. I'm sure if I wanted to, I could find that. And then afterwards, I'd probably regret it because I would end up be like 5 ships down. But those trailers always look so incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this trailer showed the space fight, and then it showed Dust mercenaries like taking over a ship. And then it kind of hinted at some Valkyrie stuff where they had small fighters come out and dogfighting, trying to show their Eve One Universe concept. Mm-hmm. Whether all that comes into play or not, very cool.
All right, no more Eve talk.
I'm done.
Eved out.
Eved out.
I noticed you put Mortal Online on the show notes. What's up with that? Anything?
I just wanted to clarify from our last podcast that it was continent support, like continent being like land. So, anyway. So just to clarify, it was continent support, and I do not know how to read.
Now
I can barely
spell
see
continent.
But that's cool. Can't wait. See what happens.
Yeah.
I've never heard of the term continent support.
No, that is. I guess they're prepping their game to put it in.
Cool. All right. So you guys ever heard of a game called ArcheAge?
Yeah.
Give me $150 and I'll let you play it. So,
yeah, I bought it. This is the most I've spent on an MMO ever. Well, No, I bought a lifetime account to Lord of the Rings Online way back when.
Yeah, cool. We have in the guild we're playing with, it's the JFF gaming community. People we used to play Darkfall Immortal with back in the day. We probably have a guild of 12 people who have paid $150, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Anyway,
That's what you get when you hype a game for 3 years and then it launches in a window where people want something like this, right?
Yeah, you know what's crazy is I went back I wanted to look at our episodes and just go back to like the first episode where we started talking about ArcheAge, just to see like what we had to say about it, what our expectations were at the time. I mean, this was before they put out any video content. We were going on basically like a couple screenshots and whatever. It turns out that was the Sandbox episode number 1. Our very first episode, July 27th, 2011. We've been doing this a long time, and we've been waiting for that game for a very long time.
see, that's what's weird to me is I wonder, was it on the Crytek 3 engine? It was on 2, wasn't it, when we were first talking about it?
I don't know. I mean, we didn't really mention the engine stuff. I know because when we started talking about it, it was just a lot of speculation. Oh, what's going to have this, going to have that. It sounded... listening to what we talked about then, it sounded a lot different than what we have now, but it's not necessarily a bad thing because I feel like what we have now is still very good.
Okay, we always knew it was tab target.
Mhm.
We didn't know, I don't think, as far as like what kind of loot was dropped on PvP kills.
Right.
But correct me if I'm not wrong. Crytek 3 engine is released when Crisis 3 comes out, right?
Right.
So Crisis 3 hasn't been out since then.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious.
You know, if the Crytek engine is one that is a progressive engine, they might have been able to start on Crytek 1 and then, 2's out, upgrade, boom, everything gets automatically upgraded to 2, and now 3's out, now they just automatically upgrade to 3, and it might not, it might be a smooth upgrade, and maybe that's what they did. I don't know.
And I think that like the Crytek 3 was the engine that allowed things to blow up a bridge and stuff like that. I don't know. Anyway, we don't have to go into that. What do you think of the game, Quint?
I have a few things I want to talk about with it. First off, I just want to say I like it. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think it offers a lot to a wide variety of different playstyles.
Oh, that's its major suit, right?
Yeah.
It seems to cater to so many kinds of players.
Anything, man. It doesn't matter. You want to be a pirate, just go commit crimes and be a pirate and go out there
and why wouldn't you want to be a pirate?
Yeah, well, you mean you're exiled. You can't go to the mainland anymore.
Yeah,
but it seems like it would be a cool. It's weird. It's like that's almost like a lifestyle choice within that game. You're like, okay, well, if I'm gonna do this, you got to just go for it, because there are consequences.
I think you can do community service and wean down your
Work yourself
infamy.
back in.
Yeah.
So, as far as the client goes, I feel like it's in alpha. I feel like it's probably past alpha. It feels like a lot of betas feel to me. Pretty stable.
Well, I mean, yeah, because it's been in Korea for a year.
Yeah.
So our build is just translation stuff.
Right.
I think this is launch.
Yeah.
Launch date for me. Just translation wise, no.
Yeah.
I think they're going to make some choices. Like I know that the Korean servers changed a little. Like people would say, it's more Care Bear than originally launched, and the Russian one isn't necessarily. But I think that they're going to have a little leeway as far as some of the settings, if you will, on how they're going to allow things to happen. And
yeah, like when you pirate and you kill the person doing the trade transport mission. In our game, you get 80% of the value, and the player that died gets 20%.
Well,
Korea
that's
gets
yet to be
60-40.
proved because we had a situation where that happened and we didn't get anything, at least at this point in the game.
Okay.
So basically, there are these trade runs, and there's a few that you kind of have to do in order to get to the point where you can make your big farm. And one of them was in the enemy territory where we actually were on our rowboats and we got to the other side, and you only have to get close to turn in the quest and progress the quest. But to get like the reward, you actually had to walk to the NPC, and that's what you're talking about. So when we walked to the NPC, so a level 50, we're like level 20. level 50 one-shotted us, took our packs, and turned them in. We didn't get anything. So, and
That's
I don't.
100. That's 100-0 then.
Well,
which would be exactly what we want.
but it's hard to say. It's hard to say. And to be honest with you, either way, it doesn't really matter that much. The bottom line is you're going to be happy when you make it there, and you're going to be happy on the other side if you kill somebody and take their stuff. I mean,
well, just to clarify too, in case no one knows what the hell a trade route is, what it is you usually get it from a crafting quest NPC or something like that. As far as I've found so far, it'll tell you, oh, go get so many of these things, beans, whatever. Go get 45 beans and then deliver them to this guy in this part of the world. And the way it works is, so you go to your farm, you plant the things, you water them. A couple hours later, you pick them up, and then you take them over to wherever the destination is. But the catch is that it's this big ass giant backpack on you. You can walk about half the speed that you can normally go in the game. If that, you're just walking real slow. Even on a mount, you're really slow until you
just
upgrade.
to let you know, right? You eventually get a donkey, but you have to level the donkey to level 20, and then you can give it a carrot, and then it'll move faster.
Right, and so then you're riding down the road on the back of a donkey, hopping on, and
with a big backpack on your back.
Yeah, and so
to get the donkey, you need goose and feathers, right? All kinds of stuff to get to the donkey.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do in the game. Mm-hmm. Like you could just say, hey, you're gonna have to do some questing, which is probably the worst part of the game, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
questing is, man, it's awful.
It's so generic. And one thing that I will say that I hope they do something to remedy is that it is easy to come into this game and to instantly get sucked into the, World of Warcraft style quest mechanic, which is you just go hub to hub, do all the quests, go to the next place, do all the quests, go to the next place.
And then quit because it's boring.
And not really know that there is so much more to the game. I mean...
Well, so they use that, like the first 20 levels are almost a long tutorial. That's where I'm at.
Right.
Still going through the hubs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Every little bit, they show you one new sandbox mechanic. So first it was...
Until about level 20, and then it's kind of like, ugh. But so just give you an example of some of the things that you could miss. You have to build these farms, and you have to get you have to get this many geese, but you have to grow green beans to feed the geese. So you grow your green beans, then you get some little baby geese, and you put them on your farm, and you feed them the green beans, and then like 8 hours later they turn into full-grown geese, and then you shear them to get their down, and then you make something out of that. And then that's your trade route thing. And then once you finish that, then you have to do something else. And eventually you get to the point where you can build a big farm. Then once you have a big farm, the big farm takes 100 timber, which is 3 woods per timber. So then you end up seeing everyone growing trees to try to get, to get to this point where, you can have your own farm. And then you're going to build ships out of the trees. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff like that. But there's some stuff that isn't even that obvious. Like there's underwater stuff. Like you can build like breathing apparatuses and little submarines to go underwater and treasure hunt. And when you're underwater treasure hunting and you find a big treasure, you have to build these things. I forget what they're called, where you fill them with air and it lifts the treasure up to the top. I mean,
that's cool.
There's all kinds of stuff in this. I mean, then you have your gliders, which you upgrade. Mm-hmm. There's cars. I don't know if the cars are actually in the real world or if it's just in the little crazy island. But, I mean, there's all kinds of little cool stuff. You can build all kinds of stuff for your house, like tables and pianos. And I think you can even make sheet music for your piano, kind of like a Lotro, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, so what I end up doing is I'm trying to get a higher level because I want to go PvP and I want to build a ship. And Butch and I are probably going to be pretty close to having a ship by the end of this today or by tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But I want to get some levels up there so when we run into people, we're not getting one-shotted.
Right.
But so I go out there and grind quests, and then I get to the point where it's like, I can't do any more quests.
You just get burnt out.
You get burnt out, and then I go fiddle around and start looking at my build. The builds, you can build a character in a lot of crazy different ways, and it's really cool. The only problem is with a lot of options, I've been doing a lot of mind changing. So,
and it costs money every time you want to change.
It costs money, and also, so right now, let's say I have like warrior, necro, healer. Well, I didn't take the healing until later in the game, so my healer is lower. That class is lower level, so I can't. I'm level 27 or something, and I can't use the level 25 skills on the healer. Actually, I just passed, but for a long time I couldn't until that skill gets leveled. Now I'm thinking about dropping the warrior and taking someone else and going completely cloth. That means I got to get all new gear, but I also have to start whatever else I take at level 10 and start leveling it up to catch up with 27.
Right, and but your character level is still high, but the skill level itself is, you have to level each skill individually. A little bit Rift, a little bit Final Fantasy 11 in that, character class leveling and all that stuff.
So sure. So if I wanted to have like this Uber heal at level that I get at 25, and I have my character's level 50, and I just now decide I want to be a healer, and I take healing at level 10, it's going to level faster than if you just started at 10 because it's a direct pouring XP into that. I don't exactly know how it works. So it's going to level faster, but it's going to take a long time to catch all the way. When you start getting close, it's it's tough. But that being said, it's better than rolling an alt.
Right.
Yeah, I like this system. There's a lot more customization in their how you make your character than I thought was in this game.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, not only is it which the 3 skill classes do you slot, but which abilities out of those particular classes do you pick to mix and match for your 21 points that you can spend, including passives?
I'm not sure. You get 22 skills you can pick, something like that, and the class has about that many, and you got 3 to choose from.
Then you have your passive skills. So your passive skills, for each of the 3 classes, it has like 5 passive skills. The first one you can take once you put so many points into that skill as active skills. So let's say, and you don't have to keep putting it in. Let's say like you take like a healer. Well, your first heal is, you put 1 point in that, and then you put another point into maybe some other healer. Let's take like a caster. So you have your fireball. That's 1 point, and then you get your like ice trap, and then you get maybe a mana shield, and then every 5 levels they unlock a class. But once you have like 3 in there, then you can choose the second passive if you want. So you get 21 or 22 skills altogether, including the passives that you divide among 3 classes. So you're not going to get the very bottom passive for all 3 classes. That mathematically you wouldn't have enough skill points. But you can take the very last active class for each of the classes, because you don't have to have points. You don't have to say, okay, well, in order to get the next tier, you have to have 3 points. It only works on the passives that way. I don't know if that's making sense with people who haven't played it.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, what are some other stuff this game does differently? Like I'm wandering through, and this big, giant airship casts a shadow over the whole area I'm questing in.
Oh, those things are loud too, man.
Then I noticed they have you could jump on like public transportation. Mm-hmm. A lot of games you hit a point and it just takes you right there. This game has like wagons and stuff going through all the game world that you hop on to get from place to place.
Right, and it's like something you can stand on. Like even if there isn't a seat on the public transportation, if you can get your body standing on there, it has the physics to keep you up there. Like if someone, like the other day, we were going to do a trade route and we were all in rowboats, and I had already done the trade route, so I was just kind of jumping from ship to ship, flying around, and I actually just flew over, landed on someone's ship, and healed them a couple times, launched off, and flew back to another ship. And that's cool. I wasn't actually like hitting F to mount their ship. I was just landing on top of it, and I was staying there.
Yeah, the game world is very open, and like you can get and go anywhere. That's a great feeling to have when you're playing something. You don't feel boxed in at all. Another thing that you can, we mentioned it last cast, you can have more players get on a horse or the vehicles, right?
Right.
You'd just be surprised at how many games don't have this. And one game I can think of in particular that really, really needs multiple character vehicles would be Fallen Earth.
Yeah.
Imagine that game if we had like
Isn't
a dune
there
buggy.
isn't there
No,
in those
no,
big
dude.
cars though?
No, there's not.
All right.
But so imagine Fallen Earth, me and you in a dune buggy together going around the PvP zone. That
I'm
would
driving.
be awesome.
Yeah.
And ArcheAge has it, and you'll notice that a lot. Things you like. Why don't all my games have this one particular little small feature?
Yeah, it's kind of strange. It's almost like they just looked at, okay, here's all the games that are out right now. Let's take a look at everything that's cool from all these different games and just throw them all into one game. You know? Aside
Yeah,
from
I have
the
a hard time
questing.
imagining anything in the future that will have more features.
Yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
feature packed.
It's feature rich. You know, I mean, there's little elements of a lot of different games. Like Quint, you said, a lot of looks like Vanguard a lot of places. And
Not only
there's been
looks like it, but it just reminds me of Vanguard so much.
Yeah,
man.
me too.
The
a lot of people have
combat,
said that.
like just the way it feels when you're playing, the visual style. I mean, I kind of feel like I'm playing Vanguard 2 with a whole bunch of other stuff in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is a tab target combat, but it's fast.
Yeah,
Or-
it's very reactive.
Right.
It's not as miserable as a lot of tab target. You're not. It's kind of like you do have a lot of skills, but it's not like some games where there's like 40 skills on your hotbar.
right.
I'm pretty much rotating like 6 skills, a couple, emergency skills or like I use every once in a while. The other thing is you can take those skills away and put them back. So I started with a bunch of stuff that I no longer use at all.
Yeah, one of my biggest worries I talked about last time before I actually got to play it was, I was worried that the tab target and hotbar style combat was going to be like a lot of other games, namely EverQuest 2, in that you have 50 buttons on your bar and none of them do anything really cool. It's just another type way to swing your sword, and so really
Right.
you're just cycling through 20 abilities over and over again, just playing whack-a-mole.
When I played EverQuest 2, I basically mapped 2 buttons.
Yeah.
One button was single target damage, and one button was multiple target damage.
Yep.
And I mapped every skill to that one button because in EverQuest 2, it just took whichever one was a up.
Yeah. Yeah, I did the
And
same thing.
That's how I played.
Mm-hmm.
And for this, it's totally different.
Yeah, because
I don't. One of the ways it's really different for me is I don't use the auto. What do you call it? The
auto attack.
Auto attack.
auto attack. I never use it. It's not even on my hotbar. I use skills when I play.
Right. But
and-
if you get in close, your guy will start auto attacking. But you're ranging, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
Um,
Anyway, I would recommend for people just saying if this game is interesting to you, I think it's worth $150 because of what you get. And for me, I can see myself playing this game for quite a while because you're going to build a house. It's going to take you a while. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. It keeps you wanting to keep playing because you're progressing in other ways besides just a level and being able to fight harder mobs.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to? I mean, we're going to still be playing this game next week, so we'll talk about it a little more next week, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm just getting into it, so I've got to catch up to you. And then
Do you guys want to add anything else
Yeah.
about ArcheAge at this point?
That's not ArcheAge?
No, anything, yeah.
No, I mean, I just what was I talking about on here? In fact, it reminds me of Vanguard. Yeah, just going back to my point is that if you do pick up the game, don't feel like you're confined to just being stuck to the questing from hub to hub, because like I did, you're going to miss a lot of stuff. I got all the way to level 21 without even knowing about the whole farming thing, without knowing about, hell, I didn't even know there was the treasure hunting underwater thing until Coolidge just said it. There's a lot of stuff that you can do here. It almost feels like the perfect blend between a theme park and a sandbox, but don't get stuck into just the quest grinding because you can. It's super easy to do, and you feel like you're missing out on stuff if you kind of skip, that stuff. You can go from 1 to max level in this game by doing nothing but working your farm and selling stuff on the auction, and you're probably going to be richer than everyone.
You get XP for doing all that stuff, and there is labor points, so you can't just mine all day long. You run out of labor points. But that's a good point. The other point that I would really advise people is upgrade your glider as soon as you hit level 20.
Oh yeah,
makes a huge difference. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to after FanFest every year. I subbed the game for a couple months because I get all pumped up from watching all the stream, And this year I'm not, because I just spent $150 on ArcheAge, so I kind of want to see what it all has to offer, right? So Eve, I'll have to wait.
Yep. You guys are welcome to come play with us if you like. We're playing with JFF Gaming. You can go to their website and sign up. Really cool guys. Also, you can just hit us up, shoot us an email or comment on our things. If you want any questions, if you need some help in ArcheAge, I'm sure we could probably figure out a way to help you.
Yeah, we're streaming it all the time too. Just hop in the stream, get on comms.
Yep. And that's about all I got. You want to take us out, Quint?
Sure. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to check out our website at www.sandboxpodcast.com. We're all on Twitter at Sandbox Podcast, at Natral, at Sandbox Quint. Check out all, I think we all have Twitch pages going now. Nate, you still got one, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, twitch.tv/Natral, twitch.tv/Sandbox Podcast, and twitch.tv/Sandbox Quint. And also Nate's blog at lovesandboxes.com. Again, another shout out to Cryptic Games. Those guys are cool. And
do they have a website?
Yeah, it's crypticgames.com, I think. It's just a little news website. They do reviews, and they also do some live streaming of shooters and things like that. So
this isn't the Cryptic Games that made
no, that's Cryptic Studios.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they get that a lot. So,
cool.
But yeah, no, that's it.
All right, see you guys next week.
Peace.
Later.